Hello everyone, this is going to be the first of a weekly video I'm going to send out while the coronavirus crisis continues. I'm conscious this isn't an ideal start to my ministry as your bishop. On Saturday I'll be licensed and installed in the cathedral as the 106th Bishop of Hereford. Of necessity this will be witnessed by only a few people, but I hope you'll be able to share the prayers and listen to my inaugural sermon at a later date online. My relationship with you as bishop is a key part of diocesan life. I want to assure you of my personal support and prayers for all that you're doing in these challenging times for our nation. I'm sure you'll understand the overriding need to keep safe and follow the best advice offered by the NHS and government. It's particularly important that those of you identified as being in a high-risk category should follow the suggested advice. I realise that your instinct will be to want to be out and about, supporting and providing for the needs of others, but I'd urge you to consider your own health and, where appropriate, stay at home. Having already done a 14-day stint of quarantine, I know it's not necessarily the splendid isolation it's cracked up to be. If you do have to, I'd urge you to use the time to rediscover a rhythm of reflection and prayer, and I may say more about that in the video next week. When I was a diocesan mission advisor, one of the questions I would ask churches on vision days was, if you had no church building and you couldn't meet on Sundays, what would be left? Well, now is the time when we're going to have to ask that question of ourselves in our churches. The letter from the archbishops yesterday was challenging to all of us to develop different ways of being church in these coming days. There is much that we can do to continue pastoral contact with folk through telephone, email and social media. This crisis has brought out the best of us, and many people have set up forums to try and help neighbours, particularly the vulnerable and elderly. Do participate in those locally, and if such things don't exist yet, consider whether your church could be a hub for something. However, many people are also giving in to anxiety, as manifested in the stockpiling of food and sharing wild, uncorroborated stories about the virus on social media. Just be wary of posts that claim they know well-known experts who've told them. Let's be a calming, hopeful and rational presence in the midst of all this. We'll continue to send out daily updates by email and on the web. The rhythm of daily prayer is continuing in the cathedral, albeit with just the chapter, not publicly. I'll be saying the office at 8 and 5 every day, and do join me at that time if that works for you. Archdeacon Derek is setting aside 9:30 and 12 each day to pray if those times would be more convenient. We'll also put up links to resources for prayer and suggestions for pastoral care. There'll be a live worship stream on Sundays, details of that to follow. We are a resurrection people. Our lives are in the hands of God's providential love, and He is working His purposes out through this situation as through every other. Our hope is not a temperamentally driven optimism because we're naturally cheerful. We're people of hope because Jesus rose from the dead. We, like our brothers and sisters throughout the world, have our faith that stakes our lives on that being true. Paul, as he reflects on his trial, says this in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16. Therefore we do not lose heart, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen, since what is unseen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. May God bless you and encourage you in these days to serve Him and bless others.